Happy trails.
Well, that is a good race car. Also, to update on what happened to Schrader, guys, I missed him. He had already been in and put on one set of tires, 2 tires at one time, so he only had 2 more tires under caution. He could change, so he's used all his 4. Craven did all of his on the last caution, or excuse me, on this caution flag. So as far as we know, everybody that's running for the lead now has used all their allotment of tires that they can change under caution.
Thanks, Glenn. Kenny Wallace is the leader. Hermie Sadler is second. Johnny Benson is third. Johnny Rumley is fourth. Fifth is Tom Peck. Sixth, Elton Sawyer. Seventh, Robert Presley. Eighth is Kevin LePage. Ninth is Ricky Craven. 10th is Kenny Schrader. As we go back to green, 11th is Tommy Houston. And 12th is Randy LaJoy, or Jim Bound and then Randy LaJoy. Those 13 cars are on the lead lap unofficially.
Hermie Sadler fighting it out there with the 9 car of Wallace. That's a sandwich right there of 2 brothers on either end of Hermie Sadler.
Mike Wallace is laps down with the number 9 car. 188 laps complete, 112 to go. As the field sorts itself out after this restart from the 7th caution flag of the day.
Look at Green's car. Boy, is that car ever able to stay on the bottom of the racetrack. Right there, though, he just about wiped our dog camera right off the left side of Dodder. Woo, is that a pretty thing or what?
It was.
That's how my nightmares start right there. There's a good idea of how much straightaway is on the racetrack. You could see the car. It was in a turn all the way down the back straightaway there. That's on the front straightaway.
Johnny Benson has cleared Mike Wallace, and now so does Johnny Rumley, the 4th place car. Kenny Wallace leads this race in a Ford. And in 35 Busch Series events at Hickory, a Ford has never been to victory lane.
One thing about racing, there's a first for everything if you stay long enough.
Right.
And I tell you what, if there's one that's going to get in there, it'd be the Wallace car today, because it is really running well. Teddy Bear got a little high there, but he's back under control.
Yeah.
He got a little help getting in the corner there. Nobody's seen it but me, but I just brought it out anyhow.
Okay. Here's a look at Ricky Craven. He is ahead of Kenny Schrader, as he was at the restart. Now moving up on Tracy Leslie. Going to be slow going through this traffic.
Yeah, but Craven said, man, I didn't know tires were going to be this wonderful.
Trouble on Elton Sawyer. They're making Sutton, number 38. He's going to come to pit road. He was on the lead lap. In fact, he was the 7th place car. He's coasting in very slowly. Now he's going to park it.
Seen a little contact there between Kenny Schrader and the 96 car.
Stevie Reeves. Well, they're both open wheel drivers.
Oh, he got it right back. Thank you very much. Uh-oh.
And Schrader's in trouble.
I think Schrader might have cut a tire down.
Well, he's headed for the pit. And another of the lead lap cars comes in.
A lot of damage to the right front there. He cut the right front down when he got in to the Clabber Girl Special there a second ago.
Tough break for Schrader. He was a contender. But now he'll go at least a lap and maybe 2 laps down, pitting under green.
Look at Hermie Sadler moving in on Wallace here. Every time I pick a new champion out here, somebody gets after him, and Hermie Sadler right now looks like he might be the fastest car out there.
They are about a third of a lap ahead of Ricky Craven as Elton Sawyer climbs out of his car, walks away, finished for the afternoon. 100 laps to go at Hickory Motor Speedway. Kenny Wallace leading Hermie Sadler. Oh, we're back at Hickory Motor Speedway. Here are the leaders, Kenny Wallace and Hermie Sadler. And coming up, you'll see the battle behind them as we're up in turn number 3. 3rd place is at stake. Johnny Benson holds off Tom Peck by using Chris Diamond as a pick.
That's exactly what happened. They run about 7 or 8 laps side by side, and then they run up on the slower car there, and Peck had to back out the throttle, but he'll be right back up there. That car is working super good.
He was right underneath Johnny Benson looked as if he was going to complete the pass, and then the lapped car came into play.
Your pick.
Well, it is Final Four weekend.
Final Four, okay.
Call a basketball move, I guess. 3 leaders to this race so far: Craven, Benson, and Wallace.
Ricky Craven playing this ball game right now about like Butte did last night when he was 13 points behind. He's really flying up through traffic right now. Might be the fastest car on the racetrack, but he's got so much traffic, he's really got to be careful.
What he needs is a caution flag, and needs for it to be somebody else.
Yeah, not him. One thing about Hickory, if it was caution, you might be it just in a second.
There's Craven moving under Mike McLaughlin, and you get an idea of the separation from the lead car.
That's what fresh tires do also. You see how much lower he can run in the corner now and get back in the throttle. Watch him pull away right here.
Still, Craven lacks a third of a lap to the race leader, Kenny Wallace. 85 laps to go. All these drivers have made their stop for tires. Now it's a question of who can wear out who and where the caution flags might fall. Craven trails by a third of a lap. That's 5.1 seconds behind the leader. I wondered, Buddy, why perhaps they didn't stop right at the halfway mark at lap 156 instead of waiting till lap 180 and have less time to deal with more traffic.
That's a good question, but I'm going to tell you, under the green, you don't want to stop here. And,
no.
You know, at halfway, I would rather have, if you can keep up, like the lead car's been able to do all day today, you want to save your best to the very last and then come in and get it with a chance to win then.
Tom Peck and Johnny Benson are right back at it. This is third place, folks, and this is as good as it gets right here.
Well, they make me look pretty smart. I said this would come back into play. Now, if they just don't run up on a slow car, the better car will get the position.
Let's go to Glenn.
Mike, we watched Elton Sawyer climb from his car. He had moved from 26 to 3rd at one time. Elton just braked. What happened?
Well, I'm not real sure, Glenn. You know, Hickory's a real tight racetrack, and we're running bumper to bumper. Evidently, we just didn't get enough air in the front of the car, and it ran hot and lost the cylinder. But, hey, my hat's off to my guys. They did a heck of a job. We started in the back. The car worked excellent all day, and I thought we would be a contender. But, hey, next week at Bristol.
He runs that racetrack awfully well. He'll be tough. This team is really coming together.
Robert Presley and Tracy Leslie in a 72. Got kind of close there, trying to lap Mike McLaughlin, whose car is well up to speed. Leslie is a little frustrated here, trying to find a way past Mikey.
Oh, boy, I tell you what. That's when you lose your cool in a hurry, because you're doing everything you can to make the car get around fast, and then you have your line taken away from you. You get a little anxious for him to get out of the way.
And behind Tracy Leslie, quite a pack of cars, including Robert Presley and Tommy Houston and Randy LaJoy. Tom Peck has moved away from that pack. He's taken David Green with him, and he's now 3.7 seconds back of the leader.
See, David Green, he was 2 laps down at one time, and now he's fighting for 4th place, 3rd place, rather.
And Green is going to go on past Tom Peck. And right side of your screen, here's Craven underneath Johnny Benson. And Craven is now within 4.8 seconds of the leader, and he's picked up a position on the racetrack. He's up to 5th. Does he have enough time? That's the question with 74 laps to go.
You know, you often wonder what if he'd have took on left side tires a while ago, just where would he be right now, too? But it was a good strategy just to take on right, because he made a quicker stop, track positions, everything here.
He's moving up on Tom Peck. There's Tommy Houston in the number 6. Johnson Financial Services car.
Something's happened to Wallace's car.
He's off the pace, and he's lost the lead. Hermie Sadler's up front. The TIC Financial Ford in trouble in the back straightaway, staying out on the racetrack.
Looks like he might have a valve or something gone. I hear it when it come by, it was missing pretty bad. That's a shame. I tell you, that car flies every week. Durability has had some engines go bad on him this year.
And it was a bad time for Craven to come up on him, because Tom Peck used Wallace as a moving chicane to keep Ricky Craven back there.
Yeah, he dropped the valve. You can hear it when it comes by here. It sounds like a truck motor.
Third place.
That won't take long. Craven's on fresher tires. He'll go right on by.
Ricky Craven now within sight of the race leader. There's Hermie Sadler, 3.8 seconds ahead. And he's overlapped Kevin LePage, so LePage goes 12th, 1 lap down. And it looks like the Ford losing streak here continues. They've never won in 35 races. Kenny Wallace was their best chance today.
I see Hermie Sadler running there in the lead, but in the same corner with him is David Green. He's made up almost 3/4 of the lap on Hermie Sadler. I think he's a little bit faster than Hermie getting into the corners here.
Let's find out what happened to Kenny Wallace. Here's Glenn.
You're looking at a very disgusted Gil Martin, the crew chief. And Gil, what happened?
It seems like we've got some sort of an ignition problem. They changed ignition boxes and the car seems to work a little bit better, but it's missing right now. I don't know what's wrong.
Will you be able to do anything about it?
Well, I don't know. If we get a caution, we'll come in and look at it, but it acts like we've either lost an alternator or something like that.
Right now, they're just going to have to ride it out, guys.
Tough break for Kenny Wallace. Hermie Sadler leads David Green by about 15 car lengths. Ricky Craven is now in the same straightaway as the leader in 3rd place. Tom Peck occupies the 4th position with 10 cars now on the lead lap. We'll be right back.
Want to learn how to catch the big bass like Roland Martin? Then watch his show on TNN Outdoors. You could also win the TNN Outdoors Fish America Sweepstakes. The grand prize is a complete fishing rig and an Alaskan fishing adventure. Watch Fishing with Roland Martin.
Edelbrock? Okay, so they make great manifolds, but what else?
It's all here in the Edelbrock catalog. Take a look. Edelbrock carburetors, Edelbrock camshafts and components, Edelbrock cylinder heads.
58 laps to go at Hickory Motor Speedway. David Green is eating up Hermie Sadler. Sadler, when we went to break, was about 12 car lengths in front. He is now just barely in front of Green, and Ricky Craven's only 3 seconds behind them.
Mike, you're both coming off the corner about the same, but this car of Green's is sticking right on the bottom of the racetrack. He won't have much trouble getting by, I don't think.
Now, as they battle side by side, that'll help Craven in his quest to come to the front.
There's your pick you were talking about.
Yep. There's Ricky Craven underneath fellow New Englander Kevin LePage.
You know, it don't matter how many laps you have to run. When it comes down to the nitty-gritty, you always have 3 or 4 cars that battle like crazy for the win every week. That's what I love about Busch Grand National Racing. I don't think there's more competitive racing in the world than right here.
Could be true. But Green is there.
Watch him drive right up under him, getting in the corner there. If they can just run under Green without running up on a slow car, I think he'll get by Hermie.
Sadler had to give him room.
Ooh,
they got close.
Contact there, I think. Seems that Hermie goes through 1 and 2 about the same as Green, but when they get a little rub job there,
almost a slide job. David Green's last win, Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia, 1991, 55 races ago. Back in 6th place, Randy LaJoie and Johnny Benson battle. Next time by, 50 laps to go. Tim Fedewa comes to pit road.
Boy, Ricky Craven, we're going to get back to that in a second. This is a great race right here, but Ricky Craven's caught Hermie Sadler right now, and I believe that he's fixing to go right on by. This car is a rocket ship right at this point in the race.
Craven has the freshest tires of anybody, and it appears that his strategy of waiting till lap 180 to put on those tires is paying off.
Yeah, well, you asked the question, and that's the whole idea, is to stay in there with the better tire right near the end of the race. He's closing in on Green. You can see they're both in the picture frame here right now.
He's past Hermie Sadler. And there's Kenny Wallace going a lap down. Robbie Reiser And as David Green moves on the outside of Mike Wallace, Craven is there. He just ate up 4 car lengths in one straightaway.
Very impressive. I tell you, new tires here or fresher tires, even if they're only 10 laps better, it just makes a tremendous amount of difference. And the other thing that's working on them is spotters calling and telling him what the 2 cars doing. And he's looking in the mirror, and he's running as hard as he can run without running over his own tongue. And they're telling him, okay, if you got anything left, go ahead and use it. And he's running hard as he can go right now. Just fresher tires are the story right now.
46 laps to go. Kirk Stevens down to the inside. And that is the battle for the lead. Well, catching him is one thing. Passing him might be another. And Kenny Wallace, after being overlapped, has gone behind the wall. Now, Wallace was the second-place point man coming into this race.
Now, if David Green can make him do that every lap, Ricky Craven will really use his tires up trying to pass on the outside. The real place to pass here and not use up a lot of tires on the bottom part of the racetrack. He keeps running in and running up high like that. He's going to scrub that right front down to where it makes the 2 cars pretty even.
But Green is not, look at him, he's not giving Craven anything of the bottom. He's really protecting that bottom.
Well, you got to know how to win, believe me. Everybody says he lucked into a race. Nobody lucks into a race unless it was a 40-car pileup and you're the only one that gets through. That's luck. The rest of the way, you kind of earn what you do on a racetrack.
There's Randy LaJoie up against Tommy Houston. Both these cars on the lead lap. And this should be for about 5th place.
Mike, Tommy Houston hadn't run well since he got that lick on the right rear side of that race car. He hadn't been as dominant as he was before that little accident.
And LaJoie dives down underneath and washes up the racetrack a bit to clear Houston. Now Craven's, he's kind of breathing the car now, it looks like, buddy. He's just not pressuring David Green as hard.
You see where he's at on the racetrack? He is washing up now. That car may have developed a little bit of push in the corner, which will really hurt you here. I noticed he was scrubbing that right front pretty hard.
38 laps to go at Hickory Motor Speedway. Let's take this break and come right back to this battle for the lead.
In New Britain, Connecticut, people know how to make a home worth more.
The Hummels are doing a new deck.
Because New Britain is also the home of Stanley.
Frank is redoing his roof.
And nobody has more innovative ways to make a house more livable.
Liz is redoing her bathroom.
Or more valuable.
And the Sandelskis are redoing everything.
Ever wish you had a better house?
So, Arnold.
Why not get started on the one you've got?
What are we doing?
New leader here at Hickory Motor Speedway, and here he is, Ricky Craven. He's gotten past David Green.
Well, Mike, he made a move while we were away at commercial there. He made a move on the 44 car that was just absolutely splendid. He fell back, let the tires cool down. He caught him in a situation trying to pass Robert Presley and got underneath both of them. And this Adios and the Lone Ranger rides again right now.
Well, it was a great move on Craven's part of taking advantage of a developing situation. David Green was underneath Presley to lap him. Both those cars carried up the racetrack just enough in turn 1 for Craven to get underneath, and he took the lead. Randy LaJoie underneath Hermie Sadler. This is for 3rd place. Whoa, the pick moved.
I'm telling you, Hermie's tires are about gone, though. He's dropping back a little bit. Randy LaJoie is moving up in the field real nice right now. You know, this thing isn't over yet. I'm noticing David Green's moving back in again. It might be that the 2 car might be pushing just a little bit in the corner and he's right front up. We have a spin up here.
Chad Little in turn 4, and he catches the left front of Tom Peck, and Kevin LePage piles in. Something happened to LePage. 8th caution of the day. LePage was 11th, 1 lap down and doing a terrific job, and piled in. And now the teddy bear has lost its eyes and nose and gets to go to the Teddy Bear Hospital.
Oh, you said you wasn't going to do that. Also broke the Panhard bar on the 23 car, Chad Little there. I noticed the back end was jumping around. They got some major repairs to do. Tom Peck's left front's down. When they have an incident here, it's not a single car ever.
No.
It don't seem like.
No, Peck will come to the pits. And,
ooh. Well, Teddy Bear now looking at you, head, face to face.
Teddy Bear Hospital time. Kevin LePage had the best run of his season going. He was in 11th place. See what happened here. Watch Chad Little, the black and yellow cars. Robbie Reiser slides up.
Okay. What happened there, 17 car and LaJoy got very close, and it looked like they might have slammed the brakes on the 23 car Chad Little, and he got sideways, and that triggered the whole incident.
Pit stop finished on Tom Peck. They'll send him back out. He was a lead lap car. In fact, he was in 4th place at the time of the incident. 10 cars are on the lead lap. Craven, Green, Sadler, Randy LaJoy, Tommy Houston, then Johnny Benson, Tracy Leslie, Johnny Rumley, Jim Bound, and Tom Peck.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts.
20 laps to go at Hickory Motor Speedway. Ricky Craven is the leader. Hope you're enjoying this Easter special. The Winston Select Invitational from Rockingham, North Carolina, Sunday, April 10th. You'll see that at 5 p.m. here on TNN. That's, of course, Rockingham Dragway, not the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Across the street. Robert Presley's been in twice now or once for left side tires. Now he comes back to the pit. Chad Little also makes a stop under caution. Ricky Craven has officially 2 Busch Series wins, but they came on New England tracks during combination races with Busch Grand National and Busch Grand National North while he was a Busch Grand National regular. He won at Oxford, Maine and Loudon, New Hampshire in 1991. Since he joined the Southern Tour, or the Busch Grand National Tour, he has not won. Let's show you how he got the lead.
Well, you see Robert Presley on the outside there. David Green gets into him just a little bit. There's a little contact there, and that gives Ricky Craven a good run up on the bottom side of the racetrack.
What a
tremendous
great
move. Oh, yeah.
Great move by Craven. There was just enough asphalt on the bottom for his race car, and he took advantage of it. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, Mike, I went up and talked to John Munson, the crew chief on Ricky Craven, to find out if he thought the car was pushing a little bit. John said that Ricky really hadn't said that he wasn't talking about the car. He was just really concentrating on keeping the car in line, not letting it get loose, get out of shape on him. Right now, what they're really concerned about is all that speedy drive that they put down coming off of turn 4 there where that last incident took place. He says he's really cautioning Ricky to be careful, try to stay out of that stuff, but man, it is right smack in the middle of the groove.
Now, John Munson is new as crew chief to this team that Craven owns. He got his start in racing as the gopher for Mario Fiore's modified team up at Agawam, Massachusetts, many years back. So another New Englander.
You can't learn any more than those guys can teach you on the modified division up north. That's a great race. I enjoyed that last year when we did that from Loudon. I don't think I've ever seen a race that was any more exciting than that.
That was great fun. A couple of us are, there's a Teddy Bear repair. A couple of us are going back up for the Spring Sizzler up at Stafford, the big modified race there, Martinsville weekend. Jack Root and I are going to go back where we kind of got our start. Have some fun up there with the modified folks in 2 weeks.
You know, Glenn, they're up here right now running through this oil dry right now, trying to get some of this blown off, because that oil dry is almost as slick as what they're trying to dry up when it's in that state there. So everybody's going to be fighting to get in the low lane on this restart.
Well, the lap cars are trying to move into position. That's Jim Bound on the tail. Is he on the tail end of the lead lap, or is he just a lap down? I think he's just barely 1 lap down. And we're going to stay under caution to get everybody in place.
That'll help that situation with all this oil dry on the on the 4th turn up here. Everybody's going to want to run through that at least another time.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to stay caution for a couple of laps here to let them do that. Craven is the leader. David Green is second. Hermie Sadler is third. right now, fourth is Randy LaJoie. Winners that was hosted by our good friend and colleague Neil Bonnet will continue on the Nashville Network. It'll be retitled Neil Bonnet's Winners, and some of the folks that Neil has profiled will come to the camera and the microphone, and through the month of April, many of the shows will feature interviews that Neil did before his untimely death at Daytona back in February. Darrell Waltrip will host a couple, Kenny Bernstein, and some of the other folks that we know as winners. That airs today at 5 p.m. on the Nashville Network.
One to go.
Another trip through the Speedy Dry, and we'll get one to go. 15 laps remain. Craven, Green, Sadler, the front three. Then LaJoie, Houston, and Benson. Then Leslie, Peck, and Rumley having another good run here. Then one lap down in 10th place is Jim Bound. 11th is Mike McLaughlin, despite all the spins he's had today. And 12th is Robert Presley. 13th, 2 laps back, is Mike Wallace. Then Kenny Schrader and Stevie Reeves.
Well, Mike, with 15 to go, there's no more dress rehearsal. This is the real show coming up here. I'm going to tell you what. Well, anybody's got anything, they're going to let it go now.
They could break some of these eggs and make an omelet.
You said that. Not
13
me.
laps to go. Craven again gets a great restart. But this time, David Green is right with him, just half a car length back.
See, Randy LaJoie's moved up in the fourth there. Robert Presley's right behind him.
Presley a lap down. Fifth is Tommy Houston. And sixth, Johnny Benson. Seventh, Tracy Leslie, who's had a good run from a provisional start, 30th spot.
If Ricky can just hold that low line through 3 and 4, nobody's going to get by him. 1 and 2, he's good as anybody. 3 and 4 is the only place he's washed out any at all. If he can keep that car right on the bottom of the racetrack, I think he has this one for a little while. Look at Green. As I say that, he sticks her right up under him there.
You could about squeeze one of those Slim Jims between the two of them. Trouble in 4. Stevie Reeves is against the fence. He's going to coast it back down. Starter has caution in hand. Not going to wave it.
Whoa, he's up on the inside wall there.
Oh, and LaJoie gets into Sadler. They were 3 wide for a moment with Presley, and there just wasn't enough room there. And we get the caution.
They're racing back to the flag right now to see. This is a tremendous move if he makes it.
No, not quite. Craven had to get out of the throttle because of Stevie Reeves in the low groove. Boy, David Green gave it his all. The incident was triggered as Randy LaJoie and Robert Presley got together there coming out of 4. Now look at Presley and Hermie Sadler. Close call. I think the omelet's ready.
I'll tell you what, that's a shame to run this long. This race to the line here had me plumb out of my seat.
How close was it? Well, less than half a car length.
David Green had to try to make that move.
Yes.
Absolutely had to try. I know he didn't want to get in that oil dry on the outside, but he stuck her right out there. He wants to win this race really bad.
Tough break for Hermie Sadler, who will fall to 9th position. And here's the race back to the flag. How close was it?
One half a car length, any way you look at it.
7 laps to go. We'll stay caution for at least another 2 of those. And Sadler, now on the tail end of the lead lap, is going to get back up in line. I think Craven is the only car that doesn't show a great deal of damage. Of course, when you lead more than half the race, they got to catch you to bump you.
This looked like one of those movies that radiation damage to a lot of people. These cars are walking wounded around here right now, I'm telling you.
I think when the teams go to Hickory, the body men go to vacation and don't want to hurry back.
You can see the left rear there where they made contact. LaJoie got into that corner there, but Robert Presley went up and come back down, and I think that the 25 car tried to avoid him and turned down just a little bit, and they made contact there.
Now Rumley is a lap down along with Presley. They'll be racing for position when we go back to green. There's your top 5 all on the lead lap. with 5 to go, and we're going to race 4 laps to the finish.
While we're coasting around here, we want to say to Jimmy Spencer, get well fast, bub.
Yes.
He had an accelerator hang at testing in North Wilkesboro last week and injured his shoulder. We're thinking about you, big boy.
Broke his collarbone, I believe.
Yeah.
Ooh.